Now we are on our way to Mausakale via Nuwara. Nuwara district is located at a higher elevation in the hill country of Sri Lanka. Arabica coffee species and tea thrive well in higher elevations. Today our major objective is to take you to a plantation where high yielding and award-winning coffee variety named Lakparakum is being planted. This variety was introduced recently by the Research Division of Department of Export Agriculture.
Getting to Nuwara is an awesome experience, passing cascading waterfalls and lush green tealands. Any visitor will be spellbound with the mesmerizing beauty of nature. As you climb along the winding road, you may feel the changing weather. Cool, breezy climate absolutely soothes and comforts the body, mind and soul of any visitor. It's a trip of a lifetime that is sure to fill you with inspiration. Nuwara, a picture postcard perfect livable city surrounded by hypnotizing panoramic vistas right around you. Nuwara basically is the land from a fairy tale brought to life right here on earth. The horse racing track, here's the venue, the popular sport initiated by the British in mid-19th century. Horse racing springs into action in April when the festive season begins.
This is the Kande Alloy Reservoir located at Nuwara, Sri Lanka. This has been built in 1949 by the first Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Jayasooriya.
The circumference of this reservoir is 9.5 kilometers and it covers an area of 109 acre-feet.
My friend here is known as Boat Vijay. He has been doing this rowing business for the last 24 years. Nuwara district is the ideal paradise for many endemic species of fauna and flora. You also can witness a glorious spectacle of blooming flowers in vivid colors. Sri Lanka has the greatest number of waterfalls in the world related to its size.
The natural elevation of the land of the hill country is ideal for the formation of most of Sri Lanka's 300-odd waterfalls. More than one-third of these iconic waterfalls are located in Nuwara, so let's explore.
The iconic waterfall you are about to witness now is called Devon Waterfall. It's named after English coffee planter Devon. It's hardly visible now because heavy sunlight is falling from there. Especially Arabica coffee species can be successfully cultivated in areas similar to this.
This waterfall is 97 meters high, ranking 19th in the island. It is formed by the Kotmale, a tributary of Mahavali, the longest river in Sri Lanka. Our exploration is not yet over, so you are invited to come with us and explore more.
The waterfall you can see at the background is called St. Clair's Waterfall. It's located at Talawakale. in Nuwara district of Sri Lanka. As you can see, it splits into two different levels. During the rainy season, it's more beautiful because more water is flowing down. This is located at a high elevation. Arabica coffee species thrives well in surroundings similar to this.
How it looks from here is heartbreakingly gorgeous. The name St. Clair derives from a nearby tea estate. It is fondly referred as Little Niagara. It is said to be about 80 meters in height, making it the 20th highest waterfall in Sri Lanka.
The mountain range at the background is called Saptakanya in Sinhala, and it's called Seven Virgins Mountain Range in English. It consists of 7 majestic mountains covered with verdant forest and rocks. The plane crash took place here, rocked the entire aviation industry in the world. As a result of that, hundreds of DC-8 airplanes were grounded. She will tell the rest of the story.
It's a world-famous mountain range since the deadly plane crash occurred in 1974. The Martin Air DC-8 aircraft carried 191 pilgrims for Hajj festival who flew from Siberia and crashed onto one of the mountains, which you can see in the background. This is one of the tires fitted to the fateful aircraft. Anyone who visits Norton Bridge can witness this.
The first systematic cultivation of coffee was launched by the Dutch in 1740, but the production was low. Early ventures of coffee cultivations by the British in coastal areas failed due to unfavorable climatic conditions.
The first commercial-scale coffee plantation was established in 1825 by the illustrious British governor Sir Edward Barnes at Gannorua in the central hills of Sri Lanka and George Bird at Singhapitiya Gampala. It made a tremendous impact in Sri Lanka's socio-economic status. Tamil labour from South India was recruited in 1830s. About 100,000 hectares of rainforest was cleared to make way to coffee plantations.
Massive infrastructure development took place by constructing a road and railway network specially to transport coffee from the hill country to Colombo port. By 1860, Sri Lanka, Brazil and Indonesia were the highest coffee producing countries in the world. Unfortunately, in 1869, coffee plantations were devastated due to a fungal disease.
In the mid-19th century, Sri Lanka, then Ceylon, was the biggest coffee producer and exporter in the world. Although we lost the first rank, the potential still remains. So we have come to Muscalia, Calonia Estate, where this high-yielding selection of Arabica coffee named Lakparakum has been planted. I have here with me the eminent researcher and scientist and director of special research, Dr. J.M. Senirathan. As a key player of this whole research program, could you please tell me briefly about the history of this research program?
Yeah, thank you, Giman. And we are the Department of Export Agriculture. Initially, we were called as the Department of Mine Export Crops, and the Department of Mine Export Crops initiated in 1972 and started in 1972. We started our research activities in 1973. At the very beginning, we were given to the priority on research activities for 4 crops: cinnamon, pepper, coffee and cardamom. Coffee also one of the high potential crop. Those days also our former researchers, they have realized that that coffee also having a big potential. So they have given a priority for that coffee research activities. Earlier we were doing the primary research activities on the spacing levels, pruning activities, fertilizer levels, and disease control activities. We have given research activities for the basic research activities like that. And finally, we were having a challenge to produce high yielding as well as the high quality varieties to the world. We knew that Sri Lanka was one of the pioneering coffee cultivating country, and we were the main supplier to the world. We collected the germplasm, but recently we realized from that germplasm itself, original germplasm, this Lakparakum variety. Recent identification of Lakparakum variety, the one of the best variety and one of the high quality, high yielding and early bearing. A lot of good features are there.
Yeah, we have come to the location where this is located at a higher elevation. We can we can see the Adams Peak mountain, so we can feel a cool breeze here. So I would like to ask, what are the best climatic conditions for this particular Arabica variety?
Yeah, in Sri Lanka we cultivate two types, both types, Arabica types as well as Robusta types coffee varieties. And Arabica varieties are recommended for high elevations and Robusta varieties are recommended for lower elevation. This is the Lakparakum is the latest addition. This is specially recommended for high elevations. Those are above 900 meters. Above 900 meters, we get the fine cup quality and high yielding and those all sort of beneficial characters we will get from this plant above 900 meters.
Could you please explain about the growth habit of this plant?
This is of course the Arabica plant. Arabica plants by that genetical character. Arabica plants are somewhat shorter in that canopy. The canopy is shorter and it has the very dense canopy.
And it can be planted at a closer spacing.
Because of that short nature and dense short structure and dense nature, and we can plant it in these Arabica plants, especially Lakparakum plant, in a closer spacing, 6 by 6, 6 feet by 6 feet. By closer spacing, we can plant this Arabica variety, and also that laterals. That is a specific feature. Laterals grow horizontally. This is somewhat parallel to the ground. Yeah, that is and that leaves are very dark green in color, and the margin is serrate, and leaves are quite smaller compared to the Arabica and Liberica type of coffee varieties.
I'd like to ask you, what are the unique characteristics this plant is having, and the other thing, how long does this take to come into the berry stage?
This Arabica variety, I can brand that as one of the super coffee variety. Okay, why I am telling like this? This is that it has a very unique characters. First one is the early bearing.
How long does it take from planting?
1 year.
From within 1 year you can get the first harvest?
First harvest, no, not the harvest. First flowering.
Flowering takes place.
It will take place during the first year. But since it is a small plant, we are not allowing the.
You are not encouraging the plant to harvest at that time.
We do the initial stripping of flowers, but it's a very fast growing as well as the early maturing plant, and that's why within that first year itself, it having the features to give the first set of flowers, but we are stripping off those flowers, and from the second year itself we can get the plant, we can get the harvest, and the harvest also we can get the potential yield is around 3,000 kilograms per hectare. That after 5 years we can get around more than 2 kilograms of dry seed from one plant. That per hectare we will get we can plant around 3,000 plants per hectare.
You already said that it has unique characteristics. You have some berries in your hand. When the berry is concerned, does it have any unique characteristics here?
Yes, of course. And by looking at the seeds and looking at the berries, we can identify the variety and the type of the coffee. The specialists, we can distinguish whether they are belong to Arabica type or Robusta type. In Arabica variety seeds, the fruits are somewhat larger compared to the Robusta varieties, and it is some fleshy and skin, that is outer skin is somewhat thick, and inside you will get the two seeds. By looking at these seeds, also it is possible to identify that particular type of that coffee. Normally these are
Comparatively, this Arabica berry is larger than Robusta.
larger than Robusta. Larger than Robusta. And another thing that here the seeds, these are parchment seeds, no? Parchment seeds are somewhat oval in shape, larger as well as oval in shape. So that Robusta varieties are somewhat smaller and the round in, typically round in shape.
At present, the world demand for organic products are increasing in leaps and bounds. So how does this react to organic fertilizer? Can it be cultivated organically?
Yes, of course. This Arabica variety, this Lakparakum variety, is really giving some sort of support for the organic cultivation, and another thing, we can get the premium quality, we can get the superb quality with that Arabica organic coffee cultivation. So that from organic coffee, organic Arabica, there's a huge demand for Arabica.
Okay. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Coffee has become an important beverage crop. The world's demand for this natural energy drink is increasing rapidly. That's why Department of Export Agriculture Research Division launched a program with the aim of introducing a high-yielding coffee variety. I have here with me Dr. A.L.S. Dharmapalakrama, the dedicated scientist and researcher and the director of Department of Export Agriculture Research Division. Could you please tell me, when the taste and aroma are concerned, does this variety, Lakparakum, stand out from the rest?
Yeah, actually we have tested several varieties since 1973, and we have released several Arabica varieties for the mid-country areas, but we think only for the yield, high yield. But in Lakparakum variety, it has a very good quality. In Sri Lankans, we prefer some quality, but it is different from the foreigners' need. So this Lakparakum variety, it has very good quality, taste and aroma.
Recently, this particular Arabica coffee variety won international recognition as a variety with outstanding quality. Can you elaborate on this matter?
Yes, in Sri Lanka it is very difficult to analyze this coffee quality because our taste is different. So we have given coffee samples to the international coffee testers and analyzers. So they have given their report. So in that report, Lakparakum has scored about 8.5 out of 10 marks it has taken. So from aroma, flavor, aftertaste, acidity, body, balance, uniformity, clean cup, sweetness, and overall it has given 8.5 marks out of 10.
Naturally, cultivators will be interested in planting this wonder variety. If there is a great demand for these plants, do you have excessive plants here in your nurseries?
Yeah, we have our own seed gardens, and also we have given seed material and seedling plants to the nurseries and upper department nurseries and the registered nurseries also, and also to the private farmers. here also we have a seed garden, and these farmers can give seed materials to the other persons.
Yeah, I wish you that you may have all the courage and strength to enhance the spice sector through innovative research findings. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Earliest consumption of coffee as a beverage is recorded from Ethiopia. Then it was traded from the Muslim world to Venice, from Venetian port to the rest of Europe. Today, coffee is a popular beverage world over. About 2.25 billion cups of coffee are consumed in the world every day. It has been said that green coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world behind crude oil. Brazil is the world leader in production of coffee, followed by Vietnam, Indonesia, Colombia and Ethiopia. The coffee industry currently have a commodity chain that involves producers, middlemen, exporters, importers, roasters and retailers before reaching the consumer.
Latest scientific evidence brings a wealth of good news to coffee lovers. Coffee is a potent source of antioxidants. It provides a short-term memory boost. Coffee is healthy for human heart. It helps curb certain cancers. It also lessens type 2 diabetes. Coffee can lower the risk of liver cancer. It curbs depression. Coffee has been ranked high in the list of healthy beverages in the world.
We have come to the Calania estate situated in Muscalia, where this new Arabica coffee variety, Lakparakum, has been planted. I have here with me an experienced planter and the superintendent of this estate, Mr. Sudarshan. Could you please tell me, how did you get inspired to be involved in coffee cultivation?
Ceylon was originally a tea or coffee growing area. Due to the destruction by the blight, tea was planted in. From the help from the export, Dr. Selvinratna and export agriculture department, they gave us the Lakparakum coffee variety. So this was initially started off as a coffee seed garden.
What is the total extent of this cultivation?
We are about 220 acres in tea and other crops, out of which 5 acres we have planted in coffee.
How many coffee plants out of this variety you have planted here?
We initially started with 1,200 plants, and then we have cultivated up to 4,700, which covers about 1.5 hectares in this estate.
What is the impression on the yield you have obtained?
Since this is a young plants, the initial yield looks very good, but we hope to achieve about 1,500 kilos per acre.
What is the processing method you used in coffee processing?
We use a wet processing method.
Have you constructed a processing center with necessary equipment?
Well, we have a temporary shed which we process the coffee in, but the equipment is very good and it's not very expensive to do this job.
Tell me about the patronage you have received from the Department of Export Agriculture.
The Department of Export Agriculture and Dr. Selvinratna was the first, initially they started off the coffee planting program here. So they have been very regularly visiting us, advising us, encouraging us and finding good buyers also for our seeds. So we have to tell a special thanks to Dr. Selvinratna and his team to developing this coffee variety, which has become a very good turnover for us.
Hope you may gain more bountiful coffee harvests in the future and become an iconic coffee planter in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's time to say goodbye to you. We'll be back with you next month, first Sunday at 9:30 p.m. on Channel I.
That is 5th of May at 9:30 p.m. on Channel I. Until then, take care.